things we're going to do is we're going to create a pop-up restaurant already next month in November. We'll be doing 2 segment nights, so it's basically 8 nights. Within next week, I think, we'll get everything up and running, and you can check everything out online. Until then, you can go to Instagram and just check out by Nomi. That's where all the recipes are.
And trust me, like even just the food styling that you've done,
Yeah, but I mean,
just changes everything.
I think
everything.
I think from coming in to look at it, it was my point of view that you should try to show all the people working in restaurants that it could be done in a new way. I mean, I'm not coming down to teach anybody how to cook African food. That's, not even borderline racist. It is, pretty smack that,
Okay, true.
No, but it is.
It makes sense. Makes sense.
But
yeah.
the things that we have an abundance of is that we've been taught to do creativity, to do innovations, to look at problems in another way. And I think that's the missing link. That if you have restaurants or hotels mainly looking at, let's call it continental cooking, or it's or Chinese cooking, then if that's where the majority
What's
of the
the
jobs
other
are,
word we can use for that?
You're gonna make me say colonial cooking, but I do mean it. There's something about that word.
Yeah.
But it is, it's a horrible word to use. But
it would best describe what you're trying to explain.
It is. I mean, it's it's for others, by others, in a country that that shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
If you go to India, you expect
there's a lot of Indian
cooking.
cuisine,
If you
from
go to,
street food,
that's
from
what I mean.
everywhere.
And so is there here, but it seems that it doesn't have the same shelf. It's not got the merit of everybody else.
Because I've seen people travel to like Thailand, and like for us it's a bit different or strange, but you'd see like even people from like Kenya, they do enjoy eating like the small frogs. Is it lizards?
Yeah.
Like but they're just presented in a very, like you said, if you go to a restaurant and the person who's serving you is not excited about what they're serving
you'll see it straight away.
Yeah, but if you're going on a street like a buffet and the person who's serving, they're like, "Yo, would you like to try this? Would you like to try this?"
But I think it all comes down to, like, if you've been told over and over and over again that on a broad scale, what you have is not as good, or it's just seen as less.
Yeah.
Then that's that mindset you have, and then it doesnnm really matter if you're the best chef in the world. You're not going to be able to present. You're not going to be able to present anything because your mind is, I'm really sorry. Here you go.
This is
just
we only have.
That's it.
Yeah.
Instead of getting that, and then you do an Italian dish and say, look at this.
Yeah.
But you need to change that. It should be the consumers asking for more sustainability and locality, but it should be the restaurants pushing for that change.
Yeah.
And we kind of figure out that we can't really say that it's just a question mark. So that's why we came up with Nomi and said, okay, let's see if we can like put it on the highest level. So the first pop-ups we're doing is aiming for the stars. We are just doing a ridiculous amount of recipes, all done in the most difficult ways I could imagine. We're
using all the local.
Right now we're doing the pop-up is going to be doing in Nairobi, and being in the city, we had to kind of scale it out a little bit. So we're only using produce that's within 200 kilometers.
200 kilometers. Okay.
That's it. Because of Nairobi's size, we kind of needed to just go out there.
Yeah.
When we leave Nairobi and go out in the country, we'll scale it down to maybe 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers.
And even
it's
in
just
Nairobi,
it's just a way of giving yourself, somewhere to work from, and also just to pressure yourself. Good ideas and creativity doesn't come from abundance.
Yeah.
It comes from a closed box, and
Yeah.
you have to think outside the box.
And the best thing about Nairobi, it's because you have like a blend of so many communities. So I can only imagine the amount of like just data collection, even if it's for research purpose before you implement all the flavors.
There's so many things to dig into. I mean, we've instead of addressing, just chefs, basically already now we've interviewed roughly between 400 and 500 chefs all over Kenya.
500 chefs.
just to get a feel of what's missing.
Yeah.
You know,
what's your thoughts on these?
How do you better yourself? Everybody says I go to YouTube.
Yeah.
That's how I do. Okay, but then you're only being taught, again, a certain recipe.
Oh, yeah. And
So
then
you're not
it's
really- you're not
everything
really-
that's
Yeah,
foreign,
just a
it's not,
recipe.
yeah.
It's a recipe base.
Yeah.
So you're not really being taught how to, dive into anything, new,
Mm-hmm.
or taught, how to interchange things.
Mix this and this,
Yeah,
get this flavor.
Yeah,
Mix.
you're being taught how to do another recipe. That's good enough, but you're not being taught the theory behind it. So we're going to be doing the showcase and kind of see if it's possible. Hopefully fuel everybody out there to just start cooking more locality based. And I hope
Yeah.
that every chef in this great country will just start posting pictures of, local foods.
Foods,
and,
man.
yeah, get it
Local
on.
foods. Like I haven't been doing it, but I shot something for a client a few days ago, and it's so crazy that I'm just saying this because, like, after we started talking before
Yeah.
setting up the interview, and she's always flying in so many different countries, eating like a lot of different foods. So we did a charity thing. And then afterwards, she was just asking like the people around, like, yo, I mean, we're all hungry. I'm hungry. Can we go get something to eat? And then they were like, we're not sure whether we can get something nice around it. But she was like, no, I know there's a
I
place
want
to
the
eat.
local.
Yeah, I want
Yeah,
local food. Show me Mama Akibanda. Show me a mama who cooks like something nice. And we just went somewhere next to the road and we ate the most like amazing
Yeah, yeah.
ugali. There was sukuma wiki.
Yeah.
There was chapati, dengu, and all these foods.
And then
are
just sit
really,
and smile and laugh.
man, listen.
Because that's
The
what food's supposed to
conversations
be
that
about.
we were having there, everybody was so happy, and
But that's what food's supposed to be.
we
But there's
posted on
absolute-
Instagram,
Yeah,
and
but
we
there's
posted
absolutely, there's absolutely no reason why that
Yeah.
shouldn't be the fueling thing,
Hmm.
in the in the cuisine or in the world. It should be, restaurants should in some way or other cook from a local point of view. Otherwise, there's really no need for traveling, is there?
yeah, true.
I mean, you're supposed to blend, techniques and trends
I'm be
should
eating
be blended.
Italian food, and once I travel to Italy, what am I gonna eat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had enough pasta in Kenya anyway.
Yeah.
So,
No, but that's the thing. So we
but
kind of
what do you think makes like just the local people, apart from like just saying like somebody who's convinced us, like theory-wise, but why do you think people just don't glorify the food the way it should be?
But I don't think.
Because I don't think it needs somebody from outside too.
No, but I'm.
to tell us that that your food is not good enough.
No.
Yeah, but where do you think, like, maybe for us, just like locals, don't see the value in it? Yet anybody who comes and tastes our food will tell you. Like, I
Yeah,
have a
it's
Japanese friend who can't get enough of like just nyama choma, and I'm even telling her you can't be eating like a lion. You need to mix like your greens and everything else. You just like, I just want nyama choma because I can't get this in Japan.
No.
And it tastes so different here and it's full of flavors. But that's the thing. I mean,
Yeah, but again, I would hate to say that it's a thing that's also, tapping into other social economics, but there is this way of being taught how to think within certain parameters always.
yeah.
That, for example, in Europe, we fuel innovation and creativity. Even in school, we have, small children are taking, quite serious if they come up with an idea saying, I think you can clean water with, this. Then the teachers will actually listen, and if they have a good idea, they'll go to the state, and that might end up as a water treatment plant.
There anything that's been implemented from children, like in Europe.
Oh yeah, many things. I mean, there was, I think there were 12 or 13-year-old. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. They actually came up with a solution to do a water solvent, just by working around it. They had an idea. They went to the teachers, and they actually implemented these new types of filtering systems.
Yeah.
We've got a group of young kids now trying to do cigarette filters, but doing it in another
How?
way. So it's,
Who has even allowed them? First of all,
Yeah,
I mean cigarette filters. So
yeah, but everybody knows the cigarette filters are lying everywhere.
Yeah,
And they're wondering, why don't the grown-ups do anything about it? And no grown-ups doing anything about it. So the
Yeah.
kids will sit down and say, but shouldn't you just use something else? And of course, the
That
answer
can
is
be-
that
Yeah.
the answer is that
problem
simple.
solving. 'Cause
So they just went about looking at different types of fungus and everything else to see if they can come up with something that's sustainable, and they have. So I think that's that mindset thing that
we should be
separates-
started like from an even.
Well, you should be. How do you say it? It should be a plus to be creative or to be thinking
Yeah.
outside the box. And I know that is coming. I know in the Kenyan school system, things like this is actually starting to be implemented. But there is a lot of people that have just been taught to, read a book, say what's inside the book, but don't say how you think about the book,
Yeah.
or what
Don't-
kind of thoughts you kind
Don't
of
try
get
and
out of it.
discredit
No,
anything
no.
that you're reading from the book.
And I think that entire mindset is one of the main problems.
Yeah.
There is so much talent. There is
Yeah.
so much talent overall, but somehow it's being stopped from utilizing their full potential. And it's also being stopped by your own mind. Saying that if you're never being taught how to go for it.
Yeah.
If that's up, if that's not something you're pushing for,
Yeah.
then nobody's really going to do it because nobody sees the point in doing it.